Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Collective Dismal here. Just got finished work for the night, and it's almost 2 a.m., and I have to turn around and go right back into work for 7:30 a.m. So every week for the last month or so, there's been this awkward Wednesday night, Thursday morning turnaround where I don't get very much sleep, and it sucks. It really takes a toll on me, but I'll be off by about 1 p.m. tomorrow, and then I don't work until Friday at 8 or 9 p.m. So there's a good gap there, like a more than 24-hour gap, and I'm going to try to make the most of it. Get caught up on some reading, get caught up on some laundry, workout, stuff like that. I'm more careful about how I use my time, but I just pulled up in the driveway. I'm sipping on a coffee, a good quality coffee. I had an espresso, made myself a little thing on the way out the door when I was leaving work, and I just wanted to use the caffeine and the energy that I'm deriving from it to come on and talk to you all tonight about a very serious matter. This is not going to be like a nonchalant, casual video. I'm going to do some calling out here in this video. And I don't always like to do it. I've done call outs before on my previous channels. And it's not something that I like to do. I would like to just more or less, constrain myself to theoretical topics regarding like philosophy, the dating market, etc. Anecdotes from my own life and stuff like that. But every once in a while, I have to go at somebody or multiple somebodies because nobody else is doing so. It's like this big elephant in the room, and just for whatever reason, everybody's fucking playing dumb, deaf, and blind to it. And I don't get down like that. I don't like that shit. If there's a problem, I'm going to call it out. We're going to get straight to the point here. I am here to call out what or who is most likely the most subversive and frankly vile person to ever undermine the manosphere, and that's critters. Now, a lot of you guys who only really watch what goes on YouTube, right? You listen to Thomas White streams, you listen to whoever, Celtic Cat, wherever else these guys appear. You're only getting half the story. You're only getting half of it because I have some shared servers that I'm in with some of these people on Discord and other alternative social media apps. And even I'm not really, I don't have much of a presence on Discord. I get the odd notification pushed to my lock screen. And even that, I'm like, imagine what I am missing because I'm not really active in these chats. And if I'm seeing all of this, it's like I can only imagine what is slipping by me. And I've been sort of nudging this guy for the last couple of weeks to fuck off and kick off out of here. Even months now. It's been a while. But I've been too nice. I've had kid gloves. And that's mostly due to the fact that these other people were sort of like playing neutral. They were sitting on the fence. They weren't really getting behind me to hold the line against this fucking guy. And if need be, they're going to get called the fuck out here too, because I'm just sick of this. And I was too nice with the guy for too long. Gave him too many fucking chances because I am too nice of a guy. But this one kind of, the straw that broke the camel's back last night, I see him posting these memes that he himself has clearly made. He's clearly, I know his shtick, I know his spiel, I know his style, and I can tell that he has made these memes himself, where pretty much it's some Sharkeisha, and it's saying like, I'm going to use it as a thumbnail of this video so you can see it. It's like, 2015 or whatever, and she's calling the Chad Wojak. She's like, you're racist, and he's like, no, I'm not. And then it says fast forward to 2025, and it's the same Sharkeisha, and she's saying, you're a racist. And the Chad goes, Yes, I am, and I'm also a PDF file. And he's sharing this around, and so I called him out on this, and he goes, again, they want to bring you right up to the fucking jump off point with this little taboo that they're trying to erode. And then when you just call them out on it blatantly, okay, so do you accept this label for yourself? He goes, oh, it's a meme. It's just a joke. It's a joke that you keep making again and again and again. Right? Like, but this isn't an isolated incident. I wouldn't make this video if this was the only fucking thing about this guy. I don't care. I'm just doing my thing, right? I have bigger shit to worry about than some fuckwit grug brain on the internet. It's more the people around him. Like, and again, I don't really like guilt by association, because that's a game that anybody can like fall victim to. You know, anybody can be associated with anyone else, and unbeknownst to them, this guy was into that and that guy was into this, and you can't just throw the baby out with the bathwater. But it does get to a point where it's like the offenses, the comments, the subversion is so flagrant, so overt and chronic, and it's like, you guys are either as dumb as this guy or you're in on it too. Like, I'm not sure what else to make of this. So this guy was in the same Discord channel trying to sell somebody a gun. I seen him. He was offering, oh, who wants to buy this gun? I have this gun for sale. Would you be down to buy it off me? In a fucking black pill Discord server. And this guy will always gaslight you when you call him out. He'll always gaslight you. As if I'm not collective fucking dismal, okay? As if I'm just some, like, NPC normal tard that you can, no, I have deniability here. It's just a meme, bro. Oh, I'm just into gun culture, bro. I'm not, trying to fed, and I'm not trying to, like, entrap anybody here like a fed. It's just, what I'm into, bro. I'm just trying to sell a gun in a black pill Discord server. Yeah, okay, bucko. And this guy, again, his method of argumentation is so crude and low IQ. And it just passes unchallenged. It's just nobody else really challenges this head on. Every time, so... Okay, the guy is a homosexual, which is fine. I mean, like, at the end of the day, bro, it's like, okay, it is what it is, man. It's not, I am a bit more of a libertarian on this. I have friends that, are gay, but they offset it in other ways. So I'm going to get into that, what it means to actually, like, offset what I would view as like a very unbecoming or, undesirable characteristic or trait. But he tries to tie this to his views on racism, like as if it naturally follows therefrom, or it logically follows from his views about misogyny and racism. Where in reality, they're completely disjuncted. The one has nothing to do with the other. The fact that he is a homosexual has nothing to do with the fact that he's a racist misogynist. But the only way he tries to bolster the connection is with this false dichotomy that he's been called out and corrected on many times before. Because the second you say, dude, that's kind of like gross. That's kind of weird. What you're advocating here for is like tranny maxing, trooning. It's kind of gross, man. It's disgusting and it's dishonest. It's like biologically offensive to me and everybody else with any kind of sensibility. And he'll go, okay, but is that not better than being with a groid? Is that not better than being with a POC? As if, like, these are the two options that we're forced to choose from. And then he'll just disappear. Like, no, the entire dichotomy is false. What do you... And my whole thing about this guy is that, again, he has this view where he's like unconditionally pro-white in any form that it happens to take, and just unconditionally anti-non-white, regardless of any other type of like behavior, activity, anything like that. It's retard racism, to put it simply. It's very crude, it's anti-intellectual, and it completely delegitimates real, highbrow, well thought through scientific racism. Completely undermines it. It makes racists look like schizophrenic idiots, quite frankly, and his views on misogyny as well. It's like he just hates women, but not for any particular reason. He hates them because they are women as such. Like, that's obviously not the kind of, that's not the way to go about criticizing these demographics who, believe me, they are deserving of much harsh criticisms. But the way to go about it isn't just to hate them because they are this thing. It's to hate them because they behave in certain ways which we find repugnant, which we find undesirable, which we find worthy of disdain. He'll make claims like that. He'll say women are stupid, for example, and then you kind of break down the bell curve, the male-female juxtaposition on the bell curve, the intelligence quotient spectrum, and you come to find that they are at parity, but males are more extreme on the fringes. But then you have the problem of the fact that once you filter out people like Isaac Newton and Nikola Tesla, Leibniz, and these like super ultra fucking giga geniuses, that the male mean falls below the female mean. They have midwits, and there's no real sense to be made about trying to like lump in Newton and Leibniz as men. Like, yeah, they represent us. We are men. They are men. It seems like a bit of a reach. They're not indicative of normal people. These are people that are like in the academies. These are people that they live these lives that are very far away from you, where they wouldn't ever cross paths with a plebeian male like you. And so it seems like if we were to just go and start creating these samples by randomly pulling people out of the supermarket, pulling them off of the street, pulling them out of a rock concert that you might attend, females would have a higher mode IQ. Like, this to me, de facto makes them more intelligent on average, because outliers are just that. They're outliers. Males have the help of the 99.9 percentile, who's twice as smart as the 98th centile, and he's dragging the fucking mean up just to reach parity. I made this kind of a point, and of course he just brushes it aside, skips over it. No, they're stupid, simple as. Anyway, moving on. Now, more to the point with this guy, I don't know if he's COINTELPRO. There's something not right with this person, and why would that be too much of a reach when we already have this laundry list, this who's who of people that came immediately before him? They immediately preceded him. Let's see, Lamprey Milt, Steve Hoka, Honest Guy, Loser Maxing, Fags, The Impressionist, all of these guys who just week after week after week, they all took their stab at trying to like get in and subvert the discourse on these live streams, try to steer it in a certain direction. And I think he was just the latest incarnation, and I think Critters was the one that stuck. Whoever this person is, because he was so vehemently racist and misogynist that it becomes very easy to ignore how pernicious his presence is, because again, it's the whole thing is the best way to subvert is to get inside, pass as an insider, and then discredit it by being an idiot, basically. And then everybody looks dumb by association. And he does that with racism. He does that with sexism. He doesn't take a balanced approach to these topics. He doesn't argue them in good faith. He doesn't entertain criticisms and revise his views where is necessary. But even if this guy is some kind of a plant, some kind of a fed, some kind of a glowy, I don't even care, to be quite honest. Like, that isn't even my chief concern. My chief concern is that he's an obstruction of the natural flow of thought, the natural flow of discourse. He gets in the way and he blocks the line. And he disenfranchises other actual quality content creators, dissident voices, social commentators, whatever, from partaking. He's basically like a giant scarecrow to just stand there and spook all the birds away, spook all the crows, right? I know not everybody is just going to come right out and say, and do a call out like the one that I'm recording here now. But I know Craig, I know Excess Mail, I know of Dustin Clay, just to name a few. I suspect like many, many, many others. I'm not going to start speaking on their behalf. But I know a lot of people just completely noped out and no longer were willing to come on and speak, no longer willing to partake or engage, because the association with this fucking guy is something that even I don't want to wear. I don't want to bear this guy, the affiliation with this guy. And I will more or less discuss ideas with anybody. I don't really care, but there is a limitation, and he goes beyond it, to say the least. And I first sort of picked up on what he was doing and the fact that it was formulaic and systematic when I went on Thomas White's channel with Critters, the three of us, the night after the Rajah Jackson thing had happened. And all we spoke about for fucking 90 minutes straight was tranny dick. And I kept trying to, okay, guys, okay, but I want to talk about this thing. I want to talk about MMA Guru. I want to talk about the Great Awakening that's sort of starting to happen. I want to talk about this chick that got stabbed on the bus or whatever it was. I think that was a week later. But, like, I sort of wanted to analyze the political climate. And this guy was just, every single time I would try to steer the conversation into something worth discussing, something productive, it was just immediately back to more of the same talk. And I had to say, Thomas White was right there with him the whole time. He does this week in and week out. I don't know what his fucking deal is at this point anymore. I really gotta question this guy. Like, you're either fucking retarded or you want this to continue happening. You want this person to sit into the VC and continue to derail any kind of interesting or productive conversation that might emerge or crop up. I mean, what other conclusion is there to draw from this? I don't get it. And Thomas will chalk this up to, oh, well, I get that some people, they don't like Dismal, and other people don't like Western, and some people don't like Craig. It's not the fucking same. This is this is like fundamentally different in so many ways, right? You have this guy that is in here as an obstruction, as a delegitimizer, as somebody that's trying to sell guns in Discord, as a guy that's normalizing PDF philia in this community, as a guy that is an avowed one at that. This guy's not funny. He's not insightful. He's not evocative. He adds nothing. He's not analytical. He doesn't. He's not a creative thinker. He's not intelligent. He's low IQ. He doesn't have the gift of gab. He's not charismatic. He's not witty. He doesn't have a pleasant voice. He's not a good orator. There's no redeeming quality to this fucking guy, whatever. Name a single redeeming quality to this guy. And I can't for the life of me understand why, like, otherwise intelligent people like Celtic Cat, for example. I haven't followed him very long. I haven't, I'm not entirely familiar with his views or whatever, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me why this otherwise intelligent guy is willing to give so much space and such a platform. The guy gets on. He has no fucking respect, whatever. He's asked to do one thing, is just to keep the obscenities down. That's it. So he doesn't compromise the channels that he's featuring on during what is an extreme bandwave that surpasses probably even 2021, early COVID era. Does the guy listen? No. He gets right on somebody else's channel. He doesn't have one of his own. And he starts doing precisely the one thing that he was politely asked not to do. And I wish I could go back into that Discord and try to, in preparing for this video, I did do like a little bit of preparations because I wanted to make sure that this was really the last time I have to speak on this fucking guy. I want this to be the walking papers that I'm going to hand to him, and hopefully he will kick off and just stay away and never reemerge. But I seen he left the group and deleted all his comments, so you'll have to just take my word for some of the things he was posting in there. He basically, last night, he posted a photograph from a pornography scene, and it was a very fat, ugly guy. It was supposed to be repugnant. Like, the guy was, like, eating a piece of pizza or something, and he was having sex with this girl that was, like, bent over in doggy style while he was, like, this fat, sweaty dirtball. And he's like, look how gross women are. Look how disgusting they are. Look how fucking... I said, dude, first of all, it's a fucking porn. Second of all, it's a smut porn. It's a fetish porn. Thirdly of all, you don't think I could probably do a 2-second Google search and find a video of a guy, licking a dog's asshole? Like, give me a fucking break, dude. This isn't a good argument to, like, try to vilify or demonize women. It's crude. It's stupid. And he immediately start creating his false dichotomy again. Well, do you think this is why I'm gay. Do you think it's better to be with blacks? And I just lambasted him. I just fucking let him have it. I finally let him fucking have it. I tore a strip down him, and then I guess he fucked off and disappeared now. But, I'm just going to cap this video off with, I'm going to tie this into a broader conspiracy plot, I guess you would call it, that I think that this is a part of. And again, I don't necessarily have any proof of this. It's all speculative, but I don't know how one would ever obtain proof of something like this anyway, even in theory. But, what I believe to be the case in the political climate, the shifting political climate, is that PC woke, aka clown world, whatever you want to call it, was a long game. It was never meant to become the prevailing worldview, the prevailing ideology. It was never meant to predominate Western society. It was actually meant to push people in an opposing direction. It was basically a big reverse psychology program. Kids were never really meant to go woke. People were never really meant to adopt this. Obviously, you would have some like unconditional status quo adoptees that would unironically, like these people that walk around Madison Avenue or whatever and hang out in these like woke bookstores, and they unironically are like adopters of this worldview. But for the most part, it was meant to be unattractive. It was meant to be abhorrent. It was meant to be annoying. It was meant to be abrasive and push people to an anti-woke position, a kind of neoconservatism. And they were going to use this aversion and disgust, this reverse psychology against woke, as a return to normalcy under, Donald J., these types of guys, Charlie Kirk. They were going to bring back normalcy. And as part of that package, as part of the umbrella, there's different positions on each little fault line that are encompassed by this like return to normalcy. And one of them is Zionism. The pro-Palestinian, the Palestinian liberation movement was presented again on the same type of grounds as post-colonial theory, PC woke, Marxist feminism, Frankfurt School, horse hockey, hoopla. And the biggest villain of PC woke is obviously the transgender thing. It is the most reviled aspect of clown world. Bar none. Bar fucking none. It does everything wrong. Targets children. It's aesthetically abhorrent. It's every single thing about it. It goes against feminism. It's like it goes against the whole instinct to protect women that men have for the most part, unless they've been conditioned out of it by like, exposure to women, stuff like that, right? Consuming red and black pills, whatever. But for the most part, men do naturally want to like protect women, and women don't want to be like infringed upon in their private areas by males, which is what like transgenderism facilitates. The stuff in the sports, all of this. It is the most hated aspect of PC woke. And this was like the big wicker man. They were going to construct, anybody who doesn't know what a wicker man is, right? It's like you construct this paradigm and then you weld all these different commitments to it and then you burn it down. And that's supposed to be like, everybody defaults to what remains. And so, again, like part of this isn't just burning down woke, but it's burning down anything right. Anything further right-wing of like, I guess neoconservatism or like extreme neoconservatism, like what you might call Nick Fuentes. Where you see him now, he's going after Paul Miller and these guys in like a very unfair, dishonest way, etc. But I think these type of people are meant to add legitimacy to that. It's like, look at this far right guy. He's a cuckoo brain. He's a nutter. This guy's here trying to sell guns on Discord. He's, I don't believe a word of what he said about having a boyfriend or what, like a passable, good-looking white Aryan troon for a fucking boyfriend or whatever. I don't believe a word of that. Oh, what? Because he showed a picture to like two people, three. Okay, I can do that. Anybody can fucking do that. Like, where are the receipts? I don't believe it. I think this guy's a very bad actor. I think he completely dampens and diminishes the quality of anything that comes out of this sphere for as long as he's a part of it. And I always tell people, go make content, because it's good for me too. It's good for everybody. Like, the more people participate, they put their voice out there, they make a channel, they take a crack at making content, because it gives you a lot of food for thought to respond to. Like, for example, we see with Steve Hoken now, he's, made his big return to YouTube, and he's been fairly consistently uploading it. And it's fallen very flat because Hell by the Dashboard has not been making content for some period of time now. And Steve was wholly reliant on that. He kind of was responding to and a reaction to Hell by the Dashboard light. And he kind of played second fiddle to it, but it was good. He was good at that point where, kind of like the Rodman to the Jordan type dynamic. But now that, there's not very much people, you're forced to kind of be the only content maker that's supplying a community, that's supplying like a void. You don't have anything to bounce off of. You're forced to just go it alone, conjure up these ideas alone, like with very little to actually reflect upon. So I always tell people, go make content, try your hand at it. You might be better than you think. People might be more receptive to you than you would think. They certainly were me. I can't believe, to this day, I cannot fucking believe that every video I put out gets 100 comments and 1,000 views. I can't believe that. I don't understand why people would be so receptive to anything I have to say, really. But they are. So you never know. Like, go and try it. But there's a limitation to it, too. I think when these guys like Thomas, I'm just going to call him out. Like, he's fucking guilty by association. 100%. I don't want to hear him fucking wave this off anymore as just like, oh, you just don't like this guy and not everyone likes everyone else. To just completely ignore the fact that no, there's ample evidence to suggest that this is much more than that. He did this, in the past with other people. I kind of let it slide. Like, he did this with Honest Guy and whatever. But it's like, at a certain point, you're fucking glib. You're glib. You're either so fucking glib that you can't see what's right before your eyes. In that case, you're an idiot. Or else you're, for some reason or another, you're allowing this to just continue. And that neither of those only two options are like really, really very flattering, in my opinion. And I'm going to be forced to be like a fucking gatekeeper here. I'm going to be forced to be the guy that's just rooting out all these different fucking, all these glowies, all these line blockers, whatever, because nobody else seems to just be like speaking out, getting behind me, like, and saying, whoa, hold the phone. There's something fucking wrong with this guy. Why is he just sidestepping all of these valid criticisms of his ideas and his claims? Why is he just completely sidestepping them and continuing to make the same claims without addressing all of the criticisms that have been leveled? Like, you can't do that. So I want this guy to just fuck off and dip. I don't want to see him. I won't see him. I don't want to hear him. I don't want to fucking anything. Just like fuck off and go away. You add nothing. You detract everything. Just stay the fuck away from this guy, man. Like, if you have two brain cells to rub together, stay the fuck away from this guy and others like him. I regret being on anything with that guy. Like, I would want all evidence of any discussion I ever had with this fucking guy burned. Like, it is a shame that this guy was allowed to run a fucking muck for as long as he was. Shame on everybody that facilitated that fucking shit. I'm going to leave off with a quote from Eric Stryker, and I think there's something to be taken away from this. The number one rule for combating COINTELPRO is to understand that it is designed specifically to distract you from your political work. When you engage small-time enemies to correct the record or dispute their lies, you create a feedback loop that has a vortex effect and drags other people around you down into it. Merely getting a response from you is their only objective. It's all precious time you're not using to fight the system. I will happily and respectfully discuss any of my positions with those who are capable of political discussion. The problem is my detractors never criticize my journalism or actual political positions. Instead, they make up lies about me, maliciously edit what I say, and lob personal insults. I do not respond to drama, and I don't have any interest in personalities or have time to engage in internet fights with COINTELPROs and retards. When I see somebody engage in this behavior, whether with me or even people I don't like, I immediately block them and extract them from my immediate political circle. Quarantining these people to their own little island is the most effective. Most people seem to get it, but if you're new to this and you find yourself the sudden target of fake infighters, or first pat yourself on the back, you were being targeted because you're effective, and then laugh. Dismal days indeed.